Hey, what's up everybody? Ramey here, and today what we're talking about is the width of your power rack. We're going to talk about the common widths, what brands have, and why you would consider different widths. And I'm going to show you some different bars on some different widths and talk about like why it matters a little bit. So first of all, most power racks range between 47 and 49 inches. You're going to ask, well, which one of those is the best? And it kind of depends, so we're going to talk about that. Rep Fitness and Sorinex racks are 47 inches, Titan Fitness are 48, and Rogue are 49. So what are the advantages? Well, let me tell you what I have here, and let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of those widths and why it really matters. So when I say this, so this is a Titan series rack, which means it's 48 inches. When I say 48 inches, I mean from the outside to the other outside. Obviously, that means the inside is minus 6 inches because this is a 3x3, so 42 inside. All right, so why does, when and why does the width matter? All right, so in the grand scheme of things, we're only talking about 2 inches, right? We're not talking about a lot of space, but it can make a significant difference when you're lifting, and let's talk about when it does. So what you see here up on my top barbell, top J-cups is a safety squat bar, and what you see on the bottom is a regular bar. So one of the reasons that people prefer, so let's talk about the smaller widths first, 47 inches. Why do people like 47 inches? One of the reasons people like 47 inches is that A, it takes up less space in your garage or basement, but we're only talking about 2 inches, so not that much, right? That's an inch, that's 1 inch on each side, like hardly anything, but still less space. The other reason people like it is that certain bars, so for example, this safety squat bar, you can see the type of J-cup that I have it on is actually a sandwich J-cup, so in between these two J-cups is only 46 inches between the two J-cups because they're like kind of extending out because the sandwich J-cup, it's only 1 inch big. My safety squat bar just fits pretty well on these two J-cups. So if I had a bigger rack, which would be the Rogue 49 inch, these would be just a little bit further, a ½ inch further out. This safety squat bar would barely fit on the rack. So what does that mean? That means that when I put my safety squat bar on full 48 inches, which it is right now, you can see these are 2 inch full size 3 inch J-cups go all the way across the upright. It actually pulled them in just slightly because the safety squat bar is barely big enough. So if you don't put it on perfect, that means when I unrack and I go to re-rack heavy weights, if I'm off by a bit, there's a chance that the J-cup could come in or out and maybe cause injury. Probably not, probably still be okay. There's a chance. So a smaller rack is much better for a safety squat bar. Now, a smaller rack is also better for a regular barbell as well. Why? Because for the same exact reason, when I go to re-rack my squat, I'll just do it this way so you can see, on a larger rack, there's a chance of me moving and hitting the upright. On a smaller, there's much more likely that I'm going to come in here like this. So a smaller rack is much more advantageous, I can't speak today, advantageous for certain bars, like a safety squat bar, and for things like squatting. And that depends on your barbell, how much your barbell, the collar here extends. But it's definitely an advantage. Smaller is better for certain things. Now, when I say that, you're going to ask, well then why would Rogue be 49 inches? Why would they be 2 inches bigger? Titan's 48, Rep's 47, Sorinex is 47. Why would Rogue be 49? All right, so 49 also has its advantages. So you can't win here. All right, so the good thing, so 49, first of all, you gain more space inside the rack. And why is that a good thing? So for some people who do wide grip bench press, they actually, or certain kinds of lifts, you actually need that extra room inside your rack to get your hands to the right position. And just to show you here, you can even see on my bar, the lines are fairly close to the end. The markings on my barbell for certain lifts are very close to the ends of the uprights of my rack. So if your hand happens to fall outside of that, 1 or 2 inches could be a huge difference between having enough room for your hands and getting your hands potentially pinched as you re-rack. So that's why wider can be better. The other thing that I should mention is that if you do like specialty barbells, like I suggested the safety squat bar doesn't fit well on bigger. Like even at 48 inches, it's pushing its limits for this specific safety squat bar. However, other multi-crib barbells actually work better on 49 inches. So depending on what kind of barbell you have, it might actually work better on the larger rack. So that's just another reason why this becomes all more confusing when you're trying to pick the perfect size for yourself. All right, so then it comes down to, well, which is better for me and what should I choose? I personally think in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. I think for the regular home gymmer, get the rack you want. I don't think that you need to pay attention too much to the width. I don't think that it's going to impact you. I've worked out on rep racks, which are 47, rogue racks that are 49. Never noticed a difference for anything that I'm personally doing. I don't move a lot when I squat, so my weights have never hit this. The only thing I've ever noticed is that when I put my safety squat bar on my Titan rack, which is 48, incorrectly sometimes, if I have these kind of J-cups, they move. That's solved very easily by having sandwich J-cups, which cut off a nice solid inch of racking. So even if you have a rogue rack and you want to get your safety squat bar on there, you just get a set of J-cups like this and you solve the problem. And these are the kind of J-cups I prefer to use anyway. So really, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge issue. But if you are one of those people, especially if you're the person who does very heavy weights or has a wide grip bench press, coming in on a very heavy squat, if you're the person who moves a lot, can be a difference between a small and large rack. And if you do wide grip bench press, really wide, or certain lifts with wide grip, it can make a big difference. But again, for most people, I think you're good to just get whatever. Rep, Titan, Rogue, Sorinex, whatever, all the other good brands out there that make quality stuff. I think you're good with any of those. But I did want to just go over, like, why is anyone even thinking about this? Like, what is that difference between the 47 and 49? Grand scheme of things, doesn't matter too much. I think if I was going to pick and make the perfect squat rack, I think the 47, 48 is better for me. So that's what I would do, and that's one of the reasons I do have Titan, which is it kind of falls in the middle at 48. But again, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But those are some of the reasons that people are going to look for when talking about the width of a rack. Those are some of the reasons why someone would choose narrow versus big. All right, you got any other reasons? You have any experience? You know, you're one of those people that's smacked your weights on the uprights, or you prefer to have the larger space, let me know.